Mark, you were complaining?
About what?
I don't know. What were you complaining about?
Being tired.
Oh.
As you can see from the bags under my eyes that look like
It's
fucking marshmallows.
Those bags are so big, it looks like you're going to be traveling abroad for like 6 months. You just have the biggest bags of all time.
You got the Rona? Is that it?
Might be. I'll see you later today.
No, you won't.
Yeah, well, I'm going to just force myself in your house. What's mine is yours.
I heard that once.
Mine is mine. You don't. And what's yours is mine too. You can eat shit.
This ain't a joke anymore. I will be over today.
People who would be tired. You guys are going to heck.
Why?
Why?
Because you decided that you were going to text my wife yesterday at like 8 a.m. because I was awake thinking that she would be awake, regardless of the fact that she is a mother. And she was up taking care of the baby in the middle of the night.
That's your fault, all right?
My wife.
If you were an iPhone user, you would know to use one of the greatest features of an iPhone, which is called Do Not Disturb. And you would force her to use that while she's getting her beauty sleep. But you didn't.
The epitome of your myopic thoughts on phones is thinking that no other phone other than the iPhone has an option to go silent.
Then why didn't you turn it on for her?
It's
Why
not
didn't you help her out?
Yeah, you just rifle through your wife's phone all the time.
No, I just say, babe, you need to get your beauty sleep. You need to get some good rest. Let me have your phone. Put it on silent. I got this.
Look at
I
that.
always have my phone on silent.
He should be able to tell his wife what to do all the time.
Just always have your phone on silent. It's that simple. Sorry, Erica.
Yeah.
That's what everyone does.
She's like, no, don't say anything about it. I don't want them to think I'm mad at them. I'm like, I'm fucking mad at them, those idiots. And the kicker was that you guys were complaining that I didn't want to watch a Christmas movie on November 6th.
You're a Grinch.
It's 75 degrees outside in Chicago, and you guys were like, oh, let's watch a Christmas movie.
I'm in Denver, so I don't know the weather in Chicago.
Okay.
Christmas season.
Is it snowing?
It's actually supposed to snow tonight. Yep.
Is it still November?
It is November, but once November hits, it's Christmas season. It's Christmas season.
There's nothing between now and Christmas?
Yeah. Weren't they playing music on the radio? Christmas music on the radio? That means it's Christmas season.
Fair enough. Guys, I'm going to heck too.
Why is that?
Mark, did you see they opened a Raising Cane's over close to your place?
Yeah, I've driven by it like twice, and I'm not tempted enough to go because the line is like 30 cars each time.
Line has been obscene, mostly because I don't think there are any other Raising Cane's around here, but it's the same as Chick-fil-A, both in the style of food that they make and the fact that you have to wait forever in a line and they like split you into two different rows. So anyways, I waited in line. It probably wasn't 30 cars deep, but I waited long enough. These kids next to me, they could have been anywhere between 16 and 30. Honestly, no clue how old they were. But they're in line at the drive-thru and they're just blasting this shitty fucking music. I think I'll think about it and it'll come to me.
What genre of music was it?
It was rap and it was Gucci Mane, but it was like not even a good Gucci song. And they're just blasting it, which is already rude because there's people next to you, there's people all around, there's people eating outside, and they're just passing around a vape pen, just smoking weed in their car. And the kid who was driving may or may not have been wearing a hat that had some views that I didn't agree with. That doesn't really matter. But instead of saying anything, I took the super petty route. So you know how the two lines converge after you place your order? And like you kind of go one, it's like a zipper. You're supposed to merge. Well, they ordered before me. So they pull up in front of me and casually, like I do kind of the yawn arm reach. And as I lift my hand up, I accidentally hit the lever on the steering column that turns my brights on. So as they're right in front of me, I just see them going like looking around.
This was at night?
Yes, it was. I mean, everything is night now because the time changed and it's just dark. 20
I thought you were going to say you were behind them and you're like, well, if that guy's sea bass, just have him pick up your tab.
That would have been, there's a certain level of petty that like you go from passive aggressive to actually aggressive. That's probably aggressive. I respect a good pettiness, like a low level petty response to stuff.
Yeah, it's probably King Von actually. If it was like some hardcore rap shit, because he just passed away. Shout out King Von.
It was Gucci Mane, but yeah. And just like your shitty 2010 Honda Civic blasting the stereo as loud as possible. Mark, you know this. Like you just turn it up super loud, even though it sounds bad.
Oh yeah, bass goes up to 9. It's great.
Mark, you sound bad too. You don't just look bad. You sound bad. Are you sure you're okay?
You've known this for the last 4 days. I'm sick. I don't know what it is. I thought it was a chest cold. It sounds like it. I'm coughing up mucus. I don't have a fever, but I've not gotten tested, so I have no idea what's going on.
I feel sicker just talking to you. It's weird.
It's making me feel tired.
Mm-hmm.
Just the idea of looking at you right now.
I'm also on like 6 hours of sleep, which is not a lot for me.
6 hours of night sleep.
Yeah, that's a good amount.
Parent.
All right, Smithers, me, you. Are you getting the new Spider-Man game?
Oh, yeah. Comes out Thursday. Absolutely in on that.
I am so fucking sold. I debated buying another PlayStation just to be like, I need to play Spider-Man. And you can get them pretty cheap. I think there's one that I saw for like $100. But I was like, am I really going to spend $150 to play this kind of extension? Because it's not it's a full game, but it's not like a full game, right?
It's a $50 game, which is $10 lower than what they used to be, and also $20 lower than what PS5 games will be, because PS5 and the new Xbox games are going to be $70 instead of $60. I mean, the new consoles come out like Tuesday this week, right? Tuesday or Wednesday. So
yeah, it was on the 12th is when they drop.
People are absolutely going to be dumping their old systems.
Right. Yeah. No. So I think maybe let go or offer up might be the play there. But sometimes they try and be like, oh, I want to sell this entire package. Nah, dog. I just need the fucking system with a controller that works that I can get Spider-Man. But also, I think I'm just going to borrow Starkey's. Shout out to Starkey. He's going to let me borrow his PlayStation, I think. I told him I'd buy him Spider-Man.
That's also a good trade-off, except you don't have anything, like you don't retain anything after that deal is complete. You know, like you give him everything back.
Yeah, there's no replay value for me because I mean I still have this Spider-Man, but no system to play it on. So it's like, well,
yeah, but if you bought a used PlayStation 4, you could still turn around and sell it and recoup most of your money, probably.
Oh, that's a good point. I guess I honestly almost thought about buying a PlayStation 5, but I felt like it would be a hassle to actually get that. Is it sold out everywhere? I would imagine.
So apparently, the way Walmart's going to do it is they're going to release them incrementally, which is what Best Buy was trying to do with the new 30 series graphics cards, even though it didn't really work very well. I'm sure that if you wanted to put some effort into it, you could find it at a Target or a Walmart. It just, you could probably get on bestbuy.com and be like, yeah, store pickup. As soon as they release it, just keep an eye on it. Then you don't have to stand in a line or some shit. But
I definitely wouldn't stand in a line. Fuck that. I mean, I have a PC too, so it's like, as a PC owner, would you even bother getting another system, PlayStation 5, an Xbox, because they're not as good, right? Or are you going for the exclusives?
There's something about being able to game on a TV though, where you're just sitting on your couch, you have your huge screen in front of you. Your friends, I don't know. There's kind of like a low barrier to entry for PlayStation, whereas if you have a gaming PC, like you put some effort into it.
Right.
I mean, how many people that we know actually have gaming PCs? Like what percentage? Like 5%, 10% maybe?
Yeah, it is a different group of human that plays PC. It's like the Wilpo and Frank Lichtensteinowitz, aka Derek, aka Derek. A guy at the movies, he's debating.
So, Brick, if you had to pick, would it just be PS5? Like, is that what's rolling through your head right now?
Unfortunately, yes. I think that is the case. I really have to figure out exactly. I think it's the exclusives. I need to play Spider-Man. Spider-Man is amazing. I already have I have 2 Xboxes at my house right now.
Why?
One was
one of those for a PlayStation.
I know. Anyway, one of those I broke my Xbox thought I broke my Xbox, but it really was just the power strip. And some Deuce's Wild Bill from the fam Discord, shout out. He's like, yo, I have an extra Xbox. You can just have it if you want. And I was like, sick. So he sent it over to me. And then I was like, oh, I just bought a power strip and it worked. Now I have 2 Xboxes.
Kind of sounds like you should just find somebody else who's like, yo, I'm trying to give away this PS5 for no apparent reason. Because it's like you just walk ass backwards into these dumb situations where you get shit for free.
That's classic. Yep. That's the move. Fall ass backwards into dope shit.
So I don't fully understand the new Xbox stuff with Game Pass because they do Game Pass for PC. And if that's the case, can't you just play any of those games on your PC instead?
I feel like a lot of the time, yeah. And so that's another reason why I would be leaning towards PlayStation, because I already have, if I want to play Xbox, I'll just play it on my 2 Xboxes or PC because they get Xbox Game Pass. So that's another good point. If you already have a PlayStation or a PC.
I'm going to wait and see. I was going to get something at launch, and now I'm just like, I'll wait and see. There's going to be plenty of them before Christmas. Sony and Microsoft didn't say like, we're not going to produce enough of these consoles. They're not stupid. You remember when Xbox One came out and they couldn't fulfill demand?
Yes.
How much money did they lose because of that? There's no way they're coming into this saying they're going to make the same mistake.
Exactly. And the resale value for people that just bought it and then sold it was like triple the margins. So
that's what makes me the maddest, I think, is
so stupid.
People who like just squat on that stuff, buy 10 Xboxes and try and flip them. You're just being a dick.
Yeah.
Like something Mark would do.
But it's also the people that think like there's going to be a shortage. Like, dude, wait an extra fucking 4 days and get it later.
That was kind of what was great about when we all went into lockdown, is everybody was trying to get Switches, and Nintendo just decided we're going to release a bunch. So everybody that bought those is just stuck with them now. And like everybody that was buying toilet paper and shit or hand sanitizers saying like, no, we're not going to accept your returns because you're an asshole.
I'll give it to those people though, because there was a little bit of a more sense of panic during that time. You know, people were fucking buying toilet paper and shit. Nobody knew what was going to happen, so everyone wanted to be ready, not be bored out of their fucking mind in their house. So yeah, getting a Switch was ideal.
I would take the opposite on that. If you're talking about stuff for like toilet paper and shit to resell, that makes you an asshole because you're taking advantage of an emergency. Whereas if you're buying a Nintendo Switch, like that's not an emergency. Nobody's going to walk around with a crusty butt all day if they can't get a Switch, except for Brick.
Maybe you will.
Yeah.
Fair trade-off. Crusty butt is the worst. You're just itching your butthole all day. Fuck that. Nightmare.
I feel like we should transition to a different conversation now.
Crusty butt.
I've got a video breakdown. So let's take a quick look at this. Oh, you know what sucks? Oh, never mind. This will work. All right. I'm sure that everybody's seen this video by now, but it's just kind of funny. And let's just give it a watch here. It's only 11 seconds long. So this is in New Jersey, a news reporter talking about the election being called.
President, we're doing this. We're looking. I know about.
So this guy is doing a news hit, and somebody in a full Trump mask and shirt walks up to him and just interrupts, starts calling out, is this real news or is this fake news? Watch the New Jersey reporter's reaction.
Fuck off. So we're here.
Fuck off. Fuck off, mate.
He's so smug after that.
Oh my God, wouldn't you be?
Oh yeah, but he's doing this on live television.
There is some consternation about whether he says fuck off or buzz off. There are people out there like debating what's actually like Zapruder film style breakdowns. I just want to have something nice, and I want him to be able to have said fuck off, because these people have been dealing with this shit for too long out in the open, where some idiot just comes up and starts screaming some shit. They should absolutely be able to tell them to fuck off.
It's a new age. Fuck off. So yeah, I'm in. That's amazing.
I was talking about this in the other Discord with Wubby and those guys yesterday, and even if that guy did say fuck off and got fired immediately, by the next morning there'd be $250,000 in a GoFundMe for the guy to keep going.
Very true. That's the way the world works nowadays.
Yeah, there's no government aid. It all comes from a GoFundMe or Kickstarter or some shit. Mark, you have barely said anything this morning. Are you sure you're okay?
I'm fine. I'm just not trying to talk as much because my voice sounds like a fucking dying raccoon right now. So,
okay,
doing my best just to sit and listen. It's an odd thing that I'm doing right now, but
yeah, is that new for you?
I'm tuned in. Yeah.
Should we do some picks?
Okay, what do you got? We're NFL picks, so you can, if you're watching this live, you can hop on and just fade us because we're terrible at it.
Speak for yourself. I've been killing it. Anyway, there's Broncos money line against the Falcons is like plus 275. And I think after that huge win, comeback victory against the Chargers, I think they're going to take that momentum and just beat Atlanta outright in Atlanta. That's my pick to click. Exactly. Plus 275. That's a steal.
So if you don't know what that means and you're listening, that's basically like getting 3-1.
Exactly.
What about Lions Vikings?
Is one of you hammering something?
Yeah, John's building his nightstand that he bought 2 weeks ago. That it's just finally time to build it. Apparently,
hammer. This is like when Erica used to come downstairs and start a new laundry thing every
it's
time.
Like just a 6 foot board. He's just like hammering it like this.
Next thing with a hammer. What the fuck is he doing?
He's just checking if it's dirty.
That Polish work ethic right there. He's making sure everything.
Someday we need to get him in here so he can just stare into the camera and not say anything with his mouth slightly agape.
That works. That's the John McCoon we know and love.
It is. Okay. I like the Ravens, who are currently +2 going to Indy. I think the Colts are kind of fraudulent, and the Ravens are going to go in there and just handle it. So I would absolutely take those 2 points. I mean, you could just say, actually, the money line doesn't really represent that. It's +108, so you're losing some vig on that, but that looks good. Also, I love the Seahawks going to Buffalo. The old West Coast to East Coast narrative does not apply to the Seahawks. They're 8-1-1 against the spread going east, and that does not sit well with me. So I'm taking the Seahawks, even though I love the Bills. They are my AFC team. And I'll give you one more.
Buffalo will give them a game. I mean, with that defense for Seattle, I think Stephon Diggs is going to light it up. It'll be close, but I do think Seattle always wins those wonky games. So
it will absolutely be a ridiculous game that won't make any sense, but that doesn't mean that they won't win. Also, Jamal Adams is coming back, and they signed Carlos Dunlap, and he can play this week. So Seattle working on their defense looks like they're trying to make a push. And I see that they just extended Pete Carroll for some reason to make him the highest paid coach in football. He is not worthy of being the highest paid coach in football.
He's up there. He's won Super Bowls. He gets that team going, dude. The players love Pete Carroll. He's a player's coach.
Rick,
I hate Pete Carroll so much.
You have Marshawn Lynch in the Super Bowl on the 1 yard line. Do you pass it or do you run it?
You slam it down their goddamn throats.
Thank you. You run through a motherfucker's face, as Marshawn Lynch would say.
You also have Russell Wilson. So
I just don't like Pete Carroll personally. I think he's kind of a D-bag when I see him chomping on his gum on the sideline. So that doesn't matter. I'll shut up about football now. I'm doing a lot of talking right now because I feel like I'm the only one that's really awake.
Sure.
Mark, you were not there. Brick was throwing up in the toilet while you were off doing whatever.
Really?
Bad seafood. No,
wait, you had food poisoning right now?
No, I was just brushing my teeth and I got to the back of the throat where all the bad breath goes, and I was just like, ugh! And
all I hear is
sounded.
You were just gagging. You didn't actually throw up, right?
Yeah, no, I was just getting down there to. That's where all the bad breath originates. 90% of bad breath comes from the back of the tongue.
Get some mouth, homie. Gargle it.
I did that, and I also like to get back there. I like to have.
I want to meet the person.
Mouth.
I want to meet the person that does the back of the tongue brushing and gags, but actually throws up like all over their fucking hand. Do those people exist?
Probably not.
When Erica was pregnant in her first trimester, she was like, that was pretty much what was happening because she just couldn't handle it. She would just like start to brush her tongue and just.
I'm not saying like.
Really weird question. Who is the best actor in Hollywood at fake throwing up?
D from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. She's the best gag, at least.
Yeah. Have we talked about this, or is it just, are we of the same mind here?
It's Jim Carrey.
It's just right now. I saw that you actually posted in our Discord, D gagging, and just one of the funniest things of all time is when she was doing the stand-up bits for D. She does comedy, and she just starts gagging on stage. She does the best gag of all time.
She's so good at the dry heave. I don't understand why, but she's the queen of Hollywood at that. So
exactly. Caitlin Olsen is her real name. D Reynolds from Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Shout out.
News to us.
All right, boys. It's been a slow week, at least for Hollywood. I mean, nothing else was really going on. I have claimed the presidency come January of 2021. I will be taking over as president because apparently anybody can just claim to be president now and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, just board yourself up in the White House. I think that'll work.
If you put a ban on sandwich smashing, I am fleeing the country.
Oh my God, that's a double win. We get rid of Mark and assholes that punch sandwiches.
I'm not going to be the only one that goes. If you think I'm the only one that likes doing this, you're dead wrong. There's going to be a lot of people leaving the country.
I think Erica enjoyed herself last week. I'll be honest.
I would deport her ass so quick.
You just called your wife an asshole, by the way, so I'm going to tell on you.
I don't care. Brick, what would your first executive action be if you were elected president?
Annex.
Lick my
Florida.
toes.
I would.
Annex what?
I would get rid of Florida. Just like
okay, so you would excommunicate. Annex would be adding them.
Adding it. Yeah, no, excommunicate Florida. Peace. You're out. Ciao. Out.
So you immediately drop the crime rate. That's good. You lower the average age of Americans. You probably get rid of a lot of meth.
That's true.
And you limit a lot of like the Oxy Highway is in Florida, so you probably get rid of a lot of that too. That's a good executive action. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm going Mercado 2024, sorry.
You have to be 35 to be president, so
I'm 30, so 2028.
2028. Okay. Mine would be declaring the day after the Super Bowl a national holiday.
That's brilliant. You want to be my VP?
Yeah.
Excellent.
That way I don't have to do anything for real unless you get murdered. Mark, do you have anything to add to this? What do you have an executive action where you just go around punching sandwiches like a dickhead?
No,
Immunity
I would
sandwich punchers.
I would give everyone like a pet to take care of. Just make sure everyone has a little bit more responsibility and love in their life. Maybe like a bearded dragon. If everyone just had a bearded dragon, and then they could have like fights every year, like an annual bearded dragon, like who raises the most badass bearded dragon, fight to the death. So it's kind of like the opposite, like all the caring shit, but at the same time, just like murder.
So Mark's trying to make real life Pokemon, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Battle.
Guy at the movies wants you to explain sandwich punching. Can you please do it in under 30 seconds?
Are you kidding me? Yeah, it's basically
don't act like it's something that everybody should know about just because you were a dickhead in high school.
All right. So basically the idea to sandwich punching is if somebody is eating a sandwich and they do not place a tangible object and rest it on the sandwich, that basically that saves the sandwich. That protects the sandwich. If you put something like a fork and rest it on top of the sandwich, if there's nothing on the sandwich, if it's if it's out in the open, somebody can come up, fair game, and smash the sandwich, punch it, just boom, right into the table.
It's like the shitty version of if your friends passed out super drunk with their shoes on, you can fuck with them.
Yeah,
exactly. O is the response. Like no one thought of that. No one does that except for only psycho skokie high school kids.
Here, I have a question for you guys. What is the meanest thing you've ever seen somebody do to like a passed out drunk person? Like where you're like, that might be crossing the line.
I saw Abate when Kyle Elastic was passed out in the racks up in our fraternity house, we basically saran wrapped him to the bed, and Abate from the top bunk did like a belly flop on him, and Kyle got up and was so pissed. He grabbed a hockey stick and was starting to fight people, and then he hit our TV and broke it. He broke the TV.
Oh my God. And he denied it vehemently for like 3 months. And then finally we got the camera footage. We're like, this is clearly you breaking the TV. This is our like communal TV, you piece of shit.
But also 100% he deserved to be pissed at what we were doing to him. So
I never really got into the whole fucking with somebody while they were passed out drunk. We did do a lot of fucking with people. Were either of you there when we carried Pat Hood's motorcycle up the stairs to the EC house and left it there, and it sat there for 6 months because he couldn't get it down?
Really? Actually, yeah.
He was livid.
I remember that. How much does a motorcycle weigh?
It was probably like 800 pounds, I think.
You need like 4 people to move it. Yeah.
And I mean, we were big college idiots like going to the gym all the time and meatheads. But yeah, that was fun.
I think one of my favorite pranks that someone did was to our Wittort, who was obsessed with his car. What is it, a Beretta, or that's a gun?
It was a Chevy Beretta, and it was in pristine condition. Don't get me wrong.
But someone put it up on like Craigslist to sell for like $200 and gave his number away. That was you?
The worst.
So he kept getting calls. It was like, why is everyone trying to buy my car? Just like actually yelling at people over the phone because he's an idiot. It's amazing.
That was me, and it was payback because he upper decked us.
Oh yeah, fuck that. That was while I was in the house, right?
Yes, he shit in the tank of a communal toilet. College was just a fucking wasteland of idiocy.
100%.
I was at an ATO party freshman year, and I did not partake in this. I was just at the party, and there's a guy passed out, and somebody took a jar of peanut butter and peanut buttered his eyes while he was sleeping. Imagine just like a pound of peanut butter on each eye, and you're trying to open your eyes, but you can't. Like, and
wait, do you happen to know if this was at homecoming?
I have no idea. It was so fucked up watching this go down, though. This
that got peanut buttered. It might have been T-Mac, but I don't know. I don't want to throw that out there if it's not. I do know that he showed up at my house late one night with his face covered in peanut butter because college, again, wasteland of idiocy.
Oh, my God.
Oh, we're fucking morons. Let's get to the news, shall we?
Yeah.
I played that a while ago. I might as well just refresh it. I can't even find it now.
News to us. Boop.
There we go. Biggest news of the week. We got a teaser trailer. Unfortunately, it's only 15 seconds long, but it is a teaser trailer for Willy's Wonderland, starring Nic Cage. And this trailer, though it be brief, has literally everything. Namely, animatronic murder robots, Nic Cage, and zoom in on a big old set of boobies for some reason.
15 seconds of glory, honestly.
Is this going to be the best movie of 2021, Brick?
No question about it. It's Nic Cage fucks up with Chuck E. Cheese. Let's go.
This is basically just Five Nights at Freddy's starring Nic Cage.
I never actually saw Five Nights at Freddy's or know what that is.
Yeah, it's a video game. It's just like a horror game. It's literally Chuck E. Cheese where the mouse at night tries to kill people.
Okay. Someone had a traumatic experience as a child going to Chuck E. Cheese. Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's kind of a good idea, though, right? Just like there's always the trope of robots overthrowing humanity, except in this case, it's just robots who sling pizza and work at shitty restaurants.
Weren't they creepy looking like animatronic people or things? They were pretty creepy.
Jesus, creepy.
Yeah, it's a big fucking rat. I got an idea. Yeah. Let's make a rat our logo / mascot.
Not the best force.
Is it a rat or is it a mouse?
Who cares?
I think it's a mouse, guys.
I don't know, man. I've never seen a mouse that big.
It's a big ass rat, dude.
It does have a really long tail, like really long.
What is the Deus Ex Machina going to be in Willy's Wonderland? What's going to come out of left field to completely save Nicolas Cage at the end of this movie?
I think Nicolas Cage is actually going to be like a real life animatronic dude. He's going to realize like he's a robot and then freak the fuck out at the end.
It's going to be the Sixth Sense. Like Bruce Willis was dead all along.
Spoiler alert. Damn, dude.
Because that movie's 25 years old. I like to think it's going to be like he discovers that they were actually just plugged into the wall the whole time and he can just unplug them and they stop.
Yeah, Matt.
All right. Next trailer. I think this movie's probably going to be better than Tenet. And this movie is called Blood Vessel. So probably 2 years ago, we finally had Nazi zombies in Overlord. And I think we all pretty much enjoyed that movie. Brick, I think you were out that week, and I think Rev Rogue was on with us.
I think I actually was, because I remember seeing it later on and being like, this movie rips. I'm sold.
It was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Premise for Blood Vessels is Nazi vampires. So you can just take any monster or any genre of villains out there and just throw Nazi in front of it. And you got a movie idea.
Great movie idea. I'm sold. God.
What do you think about Nazi Pokemon?
We
Like-
are the Elite Four. You need to kill all of the Pokemon.
Oh,
Like Nazis versus Pokemon or Pokemon Nazis or Pokemon trainer Nazis?
You've
Well,
clearly put more thought into this than I have.
Like, are the trainers the Nazis, but they enforce the Nazi like ideology on the Pokemon, or the Pokemon just like Nazis?
The SS they were just following orders, right? Maybe that's all the Pokemon are doing.
Well, they are. That is what they're doing. Team Rocket is basically Nazi Pokemon trainers, right?
Wow. Did we just discover something?
Would Geodude be Neodude then?
Oh,
Oh, man.
All right, I'm gonna leave. See you guys.
all right, fine.
Ciao, dude. I'll see myself out.
Oh, credit where it's due. I don't know. This looks okay. I think Shudder's been doing a lot with low budget, shitty horror movies.
Like what?
They had like that Zoom based horror movie where a demon was basically stalking people. It was pretty good. And they're kind of doing the Blumhouse model where it's super low budget stuff, but they just pepper you with it. Eventually, something's going to hit and they're going to make their money.
Mm-hmm.
They did Mandy.
Shudder did?
Yeah. Popular Shudder movies, Mandy,
Mm-hmm.
Beach House, Horror Noir, Host. Host was the one that you were talking about,
That's
I think.
the one I was talking about. Yeah. So they're doing a
They
lot
do-
of that.
They do the James Franco movie.
They might have, but that movie sucked. So I don't know.
They didn't. I didn't see it on there.
Let's just go in here. Fuck it. I'll watch a Lego Star Wars movie. What about you, Brick?
Unfortunately, I'm in on it too. Star Wars is boring. Have you guys been watching The Mandalorian? Just curious.
It's the best show on TV right now.
Okay. I gotta get back into it, I guess. But again, Lego does it well. They do a lot of stupid humor. I didn't see any of they didn't really mention the cast, which worries me a little bit, but it is just a Disney Plus movie. It'll be cheesy. It'll be, it'll play into all like the same Star Wars tropes. So I'm here for it.
You're leaving out the most important part. You just said, fuck it, I'll watch a Star Wars Lego movie. It's a Christmas Star Wars Lego movie.
Christmas spirit.
It's a Life Day Star Wars Lego movie because they don't have Christmas in space, you imbecile.
It's Christmas. Christmas season's here. Christmas spirit is here.
To save 2020.
Yeah. This movie isn't out yet, so it's not the Christmas season. It's not the Christmas season until we get another Brick. Who's your love interest?
Vanessa Hudgens, Princess.
There we go.
The Princess. It's not the Princess Diaries. It's the Princess Switch 3. Let's go.
There you go. Until we get a Vanessa Hudgens movie about Christmas, it's not officially the Christmas season. So, this is interesting. I do have trouble reconciling the idea that there is no Christmas in space, but they're just like, yeah, whatever. Let's put up wreaths and give each other presents, and everything's red and green. Whatever. There's not anything else coming out. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. Lego movie has built up enough goodwill for me to be like, all right, I'll check it out. Fuck it.
I will agree with that wholeheartedly. All right, let's move on to the actual news. Netflix is currently testing out linear programming in France. Now, I don't really know why you would go to France to try this first. First of all, you guys know what linear programming means?
Absolutely not.
It's cable.
Yeah, cable. Having over-the-air constant, like predetermined set programming.
Okay.
So like your channels, why is that bad? How many hours have you spent in the last year scrolling through Netflix looking for something to watch?
I suppose that's a good point. A lot of time, but then I always go back to the stuff. So they're like, oh, we're gonna be showing this movie at this time and deal with it, or so are they going to be exclusive titles?
You have to watch their linear programming. You can still go.
What I don't want them to do is be like, Stranger Things is on Fridays at 7, and then you have to. I just don't know. I just don't want to deal.
No,
with that.
I don't think they're going to move. Like they're the last holdout of releasing everything at once. So I don't think that they'll go that route where they say like, no, we're going to go back full circle to cable where we'll release one episode Friday nights at 7. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just an option to have something playing constantly. I mean,
okay,
how much of your day is just you have something in the background, you're not even paying attention to it, but you just want to have some noise. Maybe like if they just had The Office playing on repeat all day, like that would get the most traffic of anything on Netflix.
Probably. Didn't they say they were getting rid of The Office, or was that fake
I think
news?
it's going to Peacock, but I mean, you get what I mean,
Right?
Like,
yeah. No. Like
something that gets a lot of traction like that would absolutely take over. And I think they still have like the rights to Friends and some other shit. So
my question would be, are some shows going to be exclusively to the linear programming, or is it all going to be just in their content library, just playing shows at random times for random things?
obviously we don't know the answer to that. I would be shocked to see them go back to releasing something on a weekly basis.
Okay.
Do you think they're going to have I think they're going to have one channel, or are they going to have multiple channels under this linear programming where it's going to be like an anime channel, a sitcom channel, a bunch of different channels, so you can kind of narrow down, you know, if you want to just throw something on?
I don't know what they're testing, but it wouldn't make any sense to just have one channel, right? Like there should be like an action channel, a sitcom channel, a cartoon kids channel, and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
I can't imagine they're going to go into it half cocked. They planned this, so
they're going into full cocked for sure.
100% cocks everywhere. All right.
I'm fine with the idea, because I mean, even though it's not Hulu's live television, Hulu Live does it, where you'll be looking through Hulu, you're like, oh, maybe I should watch a show, and then you'll see on live or live now or whatever it says, and you just click it, and then it just will keep going. It's linear programming. So I think they're trying to do something different, and they know it's out there, and they're just trying to get into that space. I mean, it's Netflix. They want to be able to take over everything. So I could see.
I think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, the difference between Hulu doing that and Netflix doing that is you have to pay. Hulu Live is like $50 a month, whereas Netflix wouldn't be raising the price for this. It's just something that they already have in their library.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good idea. I don't really see a downside to it. If you don't like it, you just don't use it. But for some reason, you know, they added that button that says just like watch now, and it'll pick something for you. Never once has it been something I wanted to watch. Yeah. Never. So I don't know what their algorithm is doing or what, but it's never anything good.
They should only play movies that are good for like TV movies that you're like, oh, Blue Streak's on. I guess I can sit through Blue Streak and just like watch it.
FX. They copy FX's programming.
Yeah.
Oh, FX with The Rock. Yeah.
Has the movie. Yeah, I'll watch San Andreas again, I guess.
Hell
Fuck
yeah.
it.
Hell yeah. Okay. Hey, you guys remember the Harry Potter universe?
No,
I do.
Stupid.
Yeah. Well, Johnny Depp's no longer going to be a part of it, because they kicked him out of Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Gay Nazi Hitler Wizard guy.
Is this because of the Amber Heard stuff, or is it just because they're like, we can't have Johnny Depp on these movies?
It has to be because of the Amber Heard stuff. And there was a decision this week on a case, the libel case against, I think it's The Sun, the London newspaper. He basically accused them of either libel or slander, depending on whether they wrote it or said it out loud. But The judge ruled in favor of the news publication, which seems odd based on the information that's been out there and reported. But I mean, it's kind of dangerous to speculate on shit like that anyways. But I think it's just, this is supposed to be a kids type franchise and they don't want to be connected with this in any way.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate because Amber Heard and Johnny Depp both have cases against them right now. It kind of seems like maybe both of them are pieces of shit. It's just a question of who is the bigger piece of shit.
And isn't the Harry Potter franchise just walking on thin ice in general because of what J.K. Rowling said like 6 months ago or whenever it was?
Yes, and the WB has come out strong again. So Warner Brothers owns all of that stuff.
Yeah,
they've come out strong, like in support of trans people and all that. But J.K. Rowling keeps putting her foot in her mouth, and I don't know.
Not smart.
How hard is it to just shut up?
I know.
You've already got your billions of dollars. Just shut up.
She's not even writing books, is she?
I think she's loosely connected with like the story writing in this, but no, she's not out here writing books right now. She was writing under a pseudonym for a while, but I don't think anything gained any traction. You hit your
falling,
Harry Potter, just go away.
Yeah.
Okay. Mark, come December 15th, I will have a new movie that I can put on a night where I can't go to sleep. And this movie will lull me into my sleep. Can you guess what that movie will be?
Miracle on 34th Street.
That would be a good one because that would be the actual Christmas season, December 15th. But
it's not a Christmas movie.
It's Tenet.
Ooh.
So Tenet is ending its theatrical run, going to streaming. I assume you'll be able to pay $20 for this piece of shit movie. Mark, are you going to buy it?
I don't know how you'd fall asleep through Tenet with that soundtrack. Are you going to put it on mute or what's your plan?
Well, you're kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you turn it way up so that you can actually hear some of the dialogue, then it's going to be super loud when stuff randomly explodes. If you turn it down because that's too loud for you, you're definitely not going to hear the dialogue.
Are you going to rewatch it with subtitles or no? Or are you just too pissed about your experience in the theater?
I'm not interested.
Yeah.
I would have, maybe if it ends up on HBO. If it ends up on HBO and they put it on their linear programming and I stumble across it, I'm like, fuck it, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
I have a quick question for you guys. Real quick, this is a time crunch here. Game's starting in 2 minutes. Would you rather start Eric Ebron at Dallas or
starting in an hour in 2 minutes?
Or Naheem Hines at home against Baltimore?
Hold on. Why did you say games are starting in 2 minutes?
Because they start in an hour and 2 minutes. Never mind. But yeah, give me that answer. I need to know.
I don't like Hines against the Ravens.
So I'm going to move Melvin Gordon into that starting spot. Hines, you're out. Ebron, you're in. Locked it in.
Shall we?
Sorry.
You're fine. Last bit of news. Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds movie, which I think we were all looking forward to pretty well, and Death on the Nile, which I'm not as familiar with. They were basically two of the last remaining 2020 holdouts to be theater releases. That's no longer going to happen, which does not bode well for the rest of the year. People were thinking maybe we would get Wonder Woman around Christmas. That's not going to happen now. I think we're just stuck until probably July-ish. We're not going to. I mean, what is there out there that's making you think otherwise? Everybody said we'd have a vaccine by now. Everybody said the numbers would regress by now. It's not happening. Everybody's still getting sick. The numbers are exploding. Movie theaters are not a good idea.
Very true. I've already punted this year away. So,
yeah, that's fair. Mark, any thoughts? What was something that you really wanted to see before the end of this year that got pushed?
Honestly, you might be a little pissed about this, but the James Bond movie I was kind of looking forward to with Rami Malek.
I'm not pissed at all. I think that would be my answer too.
Yeah, what was the last one they did? Not Skyfall. What was it? Spectre?
I can't fucking remember all the names. I told you they will run together for me.
I don't know. I haven't been excited for a Bond movie like this in a while.
Fair enough.
Particularly because of Malik as the villain. I think he's going to be great.
Never mind. It was Spectre. Spectre was the last one in 2015. No Time to Die is the new one 6 years later.
I think that this is Daniel Craig's last movie as James Bond, and I think he just goes all out and says "fuck it" and does what he wants.
Yeah,
he's been unhappy as Bond for a long time, and I think this is just kind of like his "fuck it, send it," you know.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was out after Skyfall. Then they made Spectre. Now they're making No Time to Die. He just can't get enough of James Bond.
Yeah, there were rumors about it, but I think that he was still contractually obligated, and they were paying him a shitload of money. So, whatever.
Is he the longest tenured Bond?
He's not in terms of number of movies, but I believe in terms of length of being Bond, you would be correct.
Oh yeah, maybe, because 9 years was the original Bond.
Yeah, it was probably George Lazenby, but all right, let's keep this rolling, shall we?
Yes.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge skank. Terrible, but thank you.
There were so many options this week that I'm just excited to hear what you guys have to say. Mark, why don't you get us moving?
Yeah, so I'm going to give it to, well, I'll back up. The annual Texas Best Mullet in the U.S. Competition was this past week. And they added a category. It is for best, it's the kids category. So kid with the best mullet. And this little guy right here won the $500 prize and went up against 100 competitors. His name is
Matarazzo from Stranger Things, just with a mullet.
His name is Jax. I don't think they're giving his last name, understandable. But he won the prize, and shout out to this guy. I don't know how you guys feel about mullets, but that's a pretty sweet mullet, if I do say so myself.
That is
nailed it.
In the back. That guy's gonna grow. He's gonna grow up, and he's gonna throw absolute gas for the Seattle Mariners. He's gonna throw like 103. I can just see it in his face.
Hell yeah.
Check that out. Check those results out at mulletchamp.com because apparently they happen to have a website for that too. That's brilliant. Good job, Mark. But Brick, what do you got?
Dumbest man alive. A Florida man paid $150 for a full contact experience with a leopard and got his head eaten and he got mauled. So he got his head bit, his ear bit. There was a full head bandage around his entire fucking head. So this is part of the reason why I would excommunicate Florida, because you guys are dumb idiots. Don't go in there with a wild animal. It's just because it's in a cage doesn't mean it's tamed. All right, dumb people.
I don't know, man. Did you listen to the Pardon My Take with Matthew McConaughey?
Yes, I did.
He had a similar story where he did a bunch of, I think he did like ayahuasca and went into a cage with a panther.
Yes, but Matthew McConaughey is a different breed of human being where his demeanor is always just like anything that comes to him. He's like goddamn Dr. Doolittle out there. Everyone's like, damn, this guy's fucking chill. I'm with him on this level, on this vibe. It's Matthew McConaughey. He just has that all right feel to him. He can do whatever he wants.
So you're saying that Panthers also recognize how cool Matthew McConaughey is?
Absolutely. If I were to pick one person to talk to aliens and be like, yo, this is who is on our planet, this is who we are, Matthew McConaughey is my number one guy.
I think you're right. All right.
That might be a dumb question that we should ask the peeps.
Maybe it's what character.
That works too.
And it could just be like any, you know what? It would be Les Grossman. For me, it would be Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder, Tom Cruise as the movie.
God damn it, dude. No way.
Give us all your resources or fuck your own face.
Strong arming super hard.
All right. I need a ruling on this one. I like just throwing it out there and you tell me if this is the best man or worst man alive. Last week we talked about a kid in a DJ Marshmello get up for Halloween, but DJ Marshmello was in the news again this week for a different reason. So I've got a little video here that I'll throw up on the screen, but essentially he's a very wealthy guy, obviously. And he has this Ford Raptor that has 3 axles. So it's got 6 wheels and it's this giant lifted truck, like ultimate small penis move. But it got stolen this week.
Oh
I'm watching this on repeat. This thing has the shittiest turn radius of anything you could possibly steal. So, of course, this dude tries to make a getaway through Los Angeles in this thing that can't fucking turn to save its life. Ends up running to a fucking light pole. Can't go anywhere. Dude is completely stuck. Is this the best man alive or the worst man alive? Mark, what do you think?
Literally, it's like letting your 6-year-old cousin play GTA and get in the driver's seat. Just that car went right into a light post.
That kid who stole a bus like 2 weeks ago is a better driver than that fucking idiot who just ran into that pole.
The bus might actually have a worse turn radius, so you might have a point.
Oh, absolutely.
So the story on this, apparently, first of all, this is like a $350,000 truck. This is something like that gets aftermarket work done, which obviously this guy's rich, whatever, doesn't matter. But it was getting work done in a dealership, and somebody rode up on a bike, threw their bike in the back of the truck, and then took off in the truck. And obviously this low speed chase occurred. Something about this story is just super funny to me, and I don't really know what it is.
We don't know either. It just was a stupid idiot who stole a truck, a really expensive truck, and just crashed into a pole. What a dumb ass.
I think it's the moxie. I respect the moxie of somebody who has the balls to try and do this.
Yeah, I guess.
God, guess. Fuck that guy's moxie.
Fair enough. All right, gentlemen, you know what that sound means. We had much consternation this week when discussing what we were actually going to review. You guys originally wanted to watch a Christmas movie, and then we decided on this movie that apparently was released in England last year, but just got released in the US yesterday or 2 days ago for some reason. I'm struggling to find some reason as to why this wasn't released everywhere this week, and I don't see anything out there, but apparently it's a year old.
I kept looking for The Informer, and it was like 2019, and I was like, are we really? Is this late? What's the deal here? Now that just answered all my questions. That is bizarre because I did enjoy this movie.
Same, but apparently the movie studio Averon Pictures was having some financial issues and they couldn't get it released in the US. No more details beyond that. But Rick, you alluded to it. Our review for this week is The Informer. It is a crime thriller directed by Andrea Di Stefano, who I just found out is a man. I've never met a man named Andrea, but there we go. Stars Joel Kinnaman. We've got Rosamund Pike in there. Clive Owen shows up. Common delivers a performance. And Ana de Armas, who is just a rising star. I'm fully in on Ana de Armas. I think she's great. Mm-hmm. So this movie is about Pete Kozlow, played by Joel Kinnaman. He's a former criminal who kind of got himself into a shitty situation, was a special ops soldier in the Middle East. Side note, why does every time we get a movie, Hollywood just decides this character had to have been a sniper? Like there's no other badass job that they could have had other than just being a sniper. Am I imagining that?
That's weird because Kinnaman didn't even really show any, long range shooting.
Zero sharpshooting, but he did. It did come in handy later when he kind of like knew what to do in a situation where somebody might be pointing a gun at him.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just maybe branch out a little bit, Hollywood. Maybe get a helicopter pilot or some shit. Maybe get a mechanic, a guy who's a really good mechanic, and make a Fast and Furious movie out of it.
That's the play.
Okay. Anyways, he was working undercover for the FBI. The FBI kind of double crosses him. Then he gets triple crossed and quadruple crossed. And it's just the story of him trying to get out of this shitty situation while his family hangs in the balance. Is that fair?
He just kept getting fucked and fucked and fucked.
I don't know what the timeline of this movie was, but it seemed like 3 days. And he just gets, that is the worst 3 days in the history of mankind. There's the one guy in history who was in Hiroshima, I think, when they dropped the first bomb. And then he was taking a train to Nagasaki and was there when the second bomb dropped. That's the worst day in history.
That actually happened to a guy.
That did actually happen. Oh, I mean,
Jesus. Not again.
good one. Okay. Mark, you've been awfully quiet. Why don't you give me your thoughts on this movie?
I actually really like this movie. I thought Joel Kinnaman is a scary motherfucker. Just him with all these tats. I would have liked him to go like the Shia LaBeouf route and been like, I'll actually get that chest tat or something. Because he just like embodies the whole fucking crazy ass. I mean, and this is like a different take where it's like, okay, now we're gonna have like a Polish gang. We had the Departed, we had the Irish, we had all these different types of gangs, and this is a different take where it's like, okay, we got the Polish people now, and Joel Kinnaman played a great fucking intimidating gangster, basically.
I think it's in his eyes. It's in his eyes. Every time that they showed him that he was like concerned or needed something to have happen, you see it in his eyes. You see the urgency, and it really resonated with me.
Yeah.
And I think the audience with that. That's how he acts.
Yeah. And
I think I can say that 90% of acting is just having your mouth slightly open, because that's what Joel Kinnaman does. That's what Armas does in this movie. It's just like, if you're in a tense situation, you just like your lip quivers a little bit and you're just like,
yeah,
that's all acting is.
Wow. You should be an acting coach.
That's why I'm rich and famous.
Absolutely.
Sorry. I got you. Go ahead.
Ana de Armas was great. Common was fine. I get it. But when he came in, I was just like, Jesus, he's like the typical NYPD detective. He's like, I'm on this case here. And I'm just like, my God, if he had a stogie in his mouth, I would have been like, that's too much. But he was fine in this. Overall, I think the story really played out. There wasn't any parts where I was like, that's a little over the top. It made you follow along the whole time, and I thought it was interesting, especially when they went into the prison scenes. It was there was never something I was like, oh, I don't believe that at all. It was like, holy shit, this is actually probably what it's like on the inside. Possibly, maybe.
I think I agree with you until the third act. And when they get into the prison, I think a lot of shit happens that's really unbelievable. But it didn't really ruin the movie for me. For some reason, when they're in this prison and somebody's getting attacked, there are 0 guards until after the fight is over. And it happens more than once. And I was just like, all right, come on. Like, this is also, is that how prison is now? Like, they just share bunks like it's the racks? Like, there's just a bunch of bunk beds in a giant room? Don't they have cells?
I don't know, but I heard a lot of like prison guards do not intervene because they're then putting their lives on the line, and it's kind of like out of their hands. It's like, okay, these guys are going to kill each other no matter what. I've heard that they kind of just let shit go down and then they come in. They're like fucking hockey refs.
Mark's got inside information from all of his convict friends.
But who knows?
Brick, what'd you think?
I thought the leads were good. They did a really good job casting the leads. Kinnaman stole the show. He was fantastic. I love him as an actor. He's great. It was fast paced, which is what I like for a thrilling crime drama. So the pace was good. The leads were good. Good action. I enjoyed it. it.
So this is only at 62% on Rotten Tomatoes, 56% from fans. I'm a little confused as to why it wasn't more well received, especially if you watch the trailer, you know exactly what you're getting, and it's a crime thriller in the vein of like The Town or something like that. And I'm not saying it's as good as The Town, because The Town was a movie. It was good too, and I don't really understand why it's like 50-50 as far as love-hate. I think Jordan's great. I've been, campaigning for him to be in more movies. I thought he was good in Altered Carbon. He's got a great voice. He's got a great demeanor. He doesn't have a ton of range. Like you are the dark, broody guy, and that's fine. But put him in more stuff.
Okay, let me ask you a couple questions here. Would you rather watch The Informer or The Gentleman?
I never saw The Gentleman. I was out that week.
Ooh, you should watch that. That was really good.
It's on my list. I've been thinking about it.
Mark, gentleman or the informer?
I'd probably go gentleman.
Okay. The informer or the tax collector?
Ooh, informer.
I go informer too. Mark?
I didn't see tax collector. I was out that week.
Informer or the Irishman?
Oh, fuck the Irishman. That movie.
No, absolutely not. Go informer.
I do not, for the life of me, I still cannot understand why anybody liked that fucking 4-hour long piece of shit movie with these old dudes stumbling around pretending to be badasses. Fuck off.
Okay.
I feel strongly about it, but
couldn't tell.
So Mark, you kind of mentioned how things were mostly believable in this. The ending scene in the guard tower where shit just kind of randomly starts exploding, that was straight out of a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, that was over the top. And wouldn't the snipers know what he looks like? Like they had him scoped in and like you could clearly see their faces.
Yeah, I kind of want to cut you off because I'm not trying to.
I don't want to spoil it.
I just But between that and the ambulance scene, they cut out a major part that shows a character basically changing his situation, and they just completely cut that part out, don't include it in the movie, and you're just supposed to assume that everything went peachy clean, honky dory. And I was just like, wait a second. I literally had to rewind it because I was like, did I fucking miss something here? But no, I didn't. It was just a weird, abrupt change. So it's definitely not without its flaws. I feel like maybe they just got some writer's block there and like, I can't write my way out of this conundrum. So we're just gonna push the narrative and keep moving.
During the second act, you can kind of tell like the writers maybe didn't know what direction they wanted to go. They're like, should we go down this like common route where he's really looking into things and investigating, or should we just go down the Kinnaman path with FBI? You can kind of see like they were juggling what to do, and it showed at the end when they just brought in Common, and it was what it was. Like he just came in and did his thing. I was fine with it.
Though I had no idea where they were going with the whole Common storyline.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically, the third act where he shows up and is the savior.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea how they were going to include him in this movie whatsoever.
Yeah,
I'm so lukewarm on Common. Like sometimes he absolutely fits in a movie, and sometimes just like I can't see anything but the guy who yells at me in TV commercials about artificial intelligence for Microsoft.
Mm-hmm.
What is a movie that Common played a good actor in? Is there anything that comes to mind specifically for you? Or
I know how bad this movie was, but when I look back at it, Smokin' Aces. I like that movie a lot. And I know it's probably 15 years old. I'm sure it doesn't hold up, but I liked him in that.
Okay.
He's a good supporting actor, a good role player. Like I think there's a good reason why we don't see him as the main character in a ton of stuff.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't really see him in a lot. He's in a lot of kids movies too, quietly. Happy Feet 2. He's got
a voice. Like the voice acting stuff is there. He's got a very distinct voice. He's
in The Simpsons. I'm looking at this. He plays himself in a ton of stuff, I feel. Like he plays Common in Ocean's 8. I didn't see that movie, but that's hilarious. But I digressed from my comments.
All right, let's wrap up our review on this, and we'll keep moving along here. I do want to ask, do you guys think that law enforcement agencies are this big circle jerk of fucking each other over, or is this just a Hollywood narrative? Like, do they continue? At the end of this movie, without spoiling it, someone in a federal agency ends up in handcuffs and is going to prison. Do you think shit like that is common, Mark?
No, I think it's a Hollywood thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got to be Hollywood. It's just, you got to be working together. You're on the same team.
I feel like they're like, all right, we're going to work on this. Is that okay with you? Yeah, that's fine. Just work on it. Or they're going to be like, all right, we're passing this to you between the police department and FBI.
Yeah. You know, somebody in the FBI, like,
yeah.
You get stories like this ever of just utter, malpractice.
Let's just say it sounds like both departments know what the fuck is going on. Like who's handling what, And this didn't really make it seem like that. Like there was this whole mystery about what's going on, and the police had no idea. I don't really think that's the case, but
and maybe that's kind of adding to my I don't know. I'm just a little bit ambivalent towards the reality, the realness of this movie, but it was still good, and I'm still recommending you go see it. I think it was absolutely worth a watch. I was kind of dreading it when I started it late last night because we didn't decide what we were going to watch until later, and I was tired. I'm glad that I stayed up and watched it, and it was really good. And I love Joel Kinnaman. Get him some more work. Same for Anna de Armas.
Yeah, it had some really good opening scenes though. That just caught you because you're like, all right, Joel Kinnaman is a badass, but he's like living this double life. I mean, he's an informer, and then they had some really intense scenes to start off. So
fast paced.
Yeah.
Yes, there were no lulls. I was never bored. I thought this was, usually I'm like checking my phone. I'll get on Twitter. Not for this. This was good enough where I could completely focus on this. So,
and
go ahead.
To add to your point, as a old man father, to be watching this at night to have your attention the entire time is something to revel in.
I watched this until after midnight, if you can believe it.
Wow.
Knowing that my kid was going to wake me up at 6:30 this morning. So
I finished this movie at 11:58, and I was like, made it just before my bedtime, midnight. That's like, the last straw.
Yeah, you're like a gremlin. You can't get fed after midnight, or you turn into a complete monster.
It's true.
All right. So that's our movie review for this week. The Informer. Absolutely check that out. We have a quick update. We talked video games earlier. We have to give our final code word for our phrase for our Cyberpunk 2077 giveaway. We hope that all of you have been tuning in to our last two episodes, and this will be the final one. Obviously, you've got a little extra time to catch up if you missed it. But all you need to do is get the 3-word code phrase. I'm not going to give you all 3 words right now. I'm only going to give you one. I'm not going to fuck it up like I did last week. But just starting tomorrow, Monday, November 9th, DM us the 3-word code phrase, and you will be entered into winning a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 on the platform of your choice. So PlayStation, Xbox, or PC. And if you share our post on Instagram with the hashtag CyberChumps, you get a second entry for free. So that said,
this is all dependent if this fucking happens, if this game happens. If it doesn't, it's out of our hands. Sorry, guys.
Well, yeah, obviously we can't give out a game that never gets finished.
It's coming out. It just might be in 10 years.
Is it? You guys see the edit that I posted in the Discord that was like a yellow out the background? I was just like, sorry, we were never actually working on this game.
Yeah, it was never in development.
They could release something like that, and I would just be like, yeah, I know that makes sense. But
hold on. Sorry. Quick story. I joined a Cyberpunk 2077 like huge Facebook group with like 30,000 people. And when you submit a post, it gets like, it like goes through a process where people fucking approve of it and shit. And they instantly shut down that meme. I posted that meme you sent, and they're just like, no, it's not happening.
I'm sure that they got
so many people.
a million submissions of that stupid meme. So yeah, I get it. But
yeah,
we should post our little contest in that group, or that Facebook.
That's probably why Mark was there in the first place.
Yeah.
Was it? Okay, cool.
All right. So that said, our final word in the contest is dingus. Brick, can you spell out dingus for the listeners?
DINGUS.
Dingus. So that is the final phrase, final word of the 3-word phrase. So DM us that on Instagram starting tomorrow, November 9th, and you will be entered to randomly win Cyberpunk 2077 for free. Tell your friends, or don't if you don't want them to win. No, tell them anyways. It's fine. All right. Let's do our recommendations. I will kick this off shortly. I'm on season 3 of The Leftovers, and I'm kind of at the point now where I'm this invested into it. I just finished the season 2 finale. They are getting further and further away from real life.
Mm-hmm.
Things are getting more supernatural with every episode, and I don't know if I like it. It's kind of like the old X-Men comics where death just doesn't matter anymore. Like you can bring anybody back for any reason. There's no stakes. So I'm going to keep going with it. I've been going about a season a week. So I hope that by next week I can finish this up and maybe start something that I will enjoy more. It's not bad. I want answers. The acting's fine. Some of the twists are good. There's weird shit that keeps happening, but I just want some explanations, and I don't know that I'm going to get them.
Oh shit! You're on the last season. They only have 3 seasons. Wow.
Yep. So it's a show that I'm watching, and that's something I can say about it.
Might as well stick it out.
Yeah, I'm this far in. I got to finish it up. But Mark, what do you got?
This is an old one too. I just started watching iRobot, right? Mr. Robot, not iRobot. Mr. Robot,
movie.
Not the Will Smith. Yeah, Mr. Robot has been fantastic so far. I'm like 5 episodes in and completely hooked. So obviously I've known that this was a great sitcom or a great drama series. It's always been all over the internet of like the top 10 shows you should watch. And it is really good. So if you haven't watched it so far, definitely recommend Mr. Robot. I
will second that. It's a great show. Rami Malek is an excellent actor. He's a huge weirdo in this show, but you just get some stellar performances just all over the place. A lot of crazy shit happens, like world-altering stuff. And also, it's a show that actually does have stakes, which is nice. So,
and we also can relate, me and Rami Malek, on the fact that we both have terrible bags under our eyes.
He looks like he never slept in his life. He and Charlie Heaton from Stranger Things, who just looks like he always finished doing it in 8-ball. And potentially he was just doing an 8-ball because that's what he got arrested for in an airport. But yeah, it's noticeable. Maybe it's just got big bulgy eyes. I don't know.
Another thing you guys have in common are you're both big computer guys.
Big computer guys.
Known computer guys. All right, Brick, what do you got?
If you like history, if you want to watch a show that's like an hour long, let's like a classroom show that like this is when your teacher's not there and they have a substitute, they put a movie on. But if you like history, Empire Games on Netflix, they have like the Roman Empire, they have the Chinese Empire. Basically, it's just showing how these empires came, the rise and fall of all these empires. I found it pretty interesting, but really, if you're a history guy, you'll like it. If you are not, you won't.
I mean, you tried to sell me in this by saying it's what a substitute teacher would play, in a history class. And that's not...
I don't think I was trying to sell it at that point. I think I was lowering the bar a little bit with that.
For the full experience, you got to like roll it in on one of those carts, and it's like one of those 1-to-1 aspect ratio Zeniths.
Like, video tube TV, yeah.
VCR in the front of the TV.
But how jacked did you get when you saw that it was in your classroom? You're like, fuck yeah. Just movie.
Yeah.
Because it meant it was nap time.
Exactly.
And there was that one kid that would have the remote control fucking watch, and he'd always change the channel, and the teacher would lose your shit.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
You didn't have that kid with that watch?
Such a weird high school, Mark. What the fuck is going on?
Dude, there was always that kid with the watch. Oh my god.
Never.
No, what? No. I think you're just making this up.
Yeah, psycho.
Mark was in fucking Spy Academy with James Bond and the Kingsman and shit.
Yeah, he was actually with Spy Kids. He was Lava Girl and Shark Boy or whatever.
All right, let's wrap this shit up so we can go watch some football. As always, you can find us on social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can call or text us at 847-920-6107. We had a voicemail this week, and it turns out it was just a telemarketer. And I was pissed because I thought we had something good coming. But I guess until next time.
Chumps out, motherfuckers. Peace.
Ciao.